You eat your fruits every day. Bananas for breakfast, maybe some grapes after lunch. You feel proud for choosing what you believe are healthy options. But here's the part that doesn't make sense. Your legs feel heavier lately. Standing up from the couch takes more effort. Your walks are shorter. And deep down, a quiet frustration starts to grow because you're doing everything right, and yet something feels off. This is not your imagination, and you're not alone. Many people over 70 find themselves in this strange paradox. They've adjusted their eating habits, they've reduced red meat, they've embraced fruit salads, yet their legs feel weaker, not stronger. The stairs seem taller, the floor feels harder, and most painful of all, that old sense of freedom, of being able to move, reach, and go, begins to slip away. What if part of the problem is hiding behind the very foods we've learned to trust? There's a quiet myth that has shaped an entire generation's health beliefs, that fruit, by definition, is always good for you. It sounds harmless, even virtuous, but after the age of 70, your body changes. Your metabolism slows. Your muscle mass naturally begins to decline, especially if it's not being actively supported by the right nutrients. And some fruits, especially the sweet, juicy, comforting ones, may no longer serve your body the way they used to. Fruits like bananas, grapes, mangoes, and pineapple are high in natural sugars. While these sugars may seem cleaner than processed ones, they still affect your blood sugar levels. When you eat them, your insulin spikes. And over time, if your body becomes more resistant to insulin, a common issue in aging, that spike becomes harder to regulate. Your energy dips, your muscles receive less fuel, your legs begin to whisper what your kitchen hasn't told you yet. This doesn't mean fruit is the enemy, but it does mean we need to understand the role it plays in your aging body, especially when it replaces other crucial nutrients your muscles desperately need to stay strong, like protein, magnesium, and healthy fats. What's happening to your legs may not be a mystery at all. It may simply be the quiet consequence of a kind of eating that used to work, but no longer does. And it's not just about food. It's about trust. Trusting your instincts when something feels wrong. Trusting your body when it asks for more than sweetness. Trusting that it's not too late to turn things around. Because once you understand what's really behind that weakness, everything starts to shift. Not just your meals, but your confidence, your posture, your power. And sometimes it starts with one fruit you've never questioned. For decades that morning, banana has felt like a symbol of health. It's quick, it's easy, it fits right in your hand. And for many older adults, it became a kind of ritual. Slice it into oatmeal, blend it into a smoothie, or just eat it plain with your morning tea. It feels light, gentle, familiar. But what it does inside your body after 70 might surprise you. A medium banana contains around 14 grams of sugar, and even though it's natural sugar, your body processes it with the same insulin response as more processed foods. That means your blood sugar rises quickly, and just as quickly, it falls. What you're left with is a sudden energy dip, often mistaken for fatigue, aging, or even depression. But here's where it affects your legs. Every time your blood sugar spikes and crashes, your muscles suffer. They're starved for steady, long-lasting energy. And as insulin sensitivity declines, something common in people over 70, your body struggles to pull that sugar into your cells, where it's needed. Instead, it stays in your bloodstream longer, inflaming your tissues and weakening your muscles over time. Now imagine doing that every morning, for years. That comforting banana becomes a daily trigger for something much deeper, muscle degradation. It happens slowly, almost invisibly. One day, you find the stairs more difficult. Another day, you catch yourself avoiding long walks. Not because you've given up, but because your legs quietly have. What most people don't realize is that the body's ability to manage sugar, even from fruit, decreases with age. And while you may not notice this at 50 or even 60, by 70, the signs are clearer. A little more swelling in your ankles, a little more soreness after sitting, a little less bounce in your step. And the most common response? It's just aging. But what if it isn't? What if your daily fruit choices are working against your strength? It's not about fear, it's about clarity. Because when you swap that morning banana for something that keeps your insulin more stable, like protein or a piece of avocado on grain toast, your energy returns. Your legs feel more grounded, and your metabolism doesn't swing between highs and lows. It's not that bananas are bad, it's that, for your body right now, they might not be what you need first thing in the morning. You deserve more than a sugar spike. You deserve strength, stability, and energy that carries you through the day, not one that crashes by mid-morning. And that begins by asking, is my breakfast fueling me or draining me? It starts innocently enough. A handful of grapes after lunch, a bowl of mango slices while watching your favorite show, a few pieces of pineapple after dinner to clean the palate. These small indulgences feel light, even healthy. After all, they're just fruit, right? But what they leave behind in your body isn't always as harmless as it tastes. Fruits like grapes, mangoes, and pineapple are high in fructose, a form of sugar that, in excess, can contribute to inflammation. And inflammation is a quiet thief, especially in aging joints. It doesn't shout, it doesn't bruise, it simply settles in, day after day, wearing down the tissues that once made standing, walking, and bending effortless. Your knees feel it first, not with sharp pain, but with that subtle heaviness. The slow rise from a chair, the reluctant steps you take to the mailbox, the way you find yourself choosing the elevator over the stairs, even though you once preferred the climb. This slow erosion of strength is rarely linked back to food. But for many people over 70, the combination of high fructose fruits and reduced physical activity creates a perfect storm. Sugar-driven inflammation, plus weakened muscles, unstable knees. And it's not just about joints. These sugary fruits can cause fluid retention, especially when eaten in the evening. That means you might wake up with stiff legs, swollen ankles, or that heavy, I'm walking through sand feeling in the morning. There's also an emotional layer to this. Grapes and mangoes aren't just snacks. They're often tied to memory, to moments with grandchildren, to warm weather, to treats after meals. They soothe us. And sometimes they replace other forms of comfort we used to find in movement, touch, or routine. That's why it's so hard to let them go. But here's the truth that might help. It's not about giving up joy. It's about trading short-term comfort for long-term strength. Because when you reduce these fruits, even just a little, the difference is noticeable. Your knees feel less swollen. Your legs move more freely. You trust your steps again. And that small shift can ripple outward into everything. Your balance, your confidence, your independence. Tell me in the comments, which fruit do you find hard to give up even if you suspect it's not helping? Opening that conversation isn't just about curiosity. It's about taking the first step toward a body that supports you, not one you feel trapped inside. Because if sweetness is costing you your strength, maybe it's time to redefine what treating yourself really means. Donna Evelyn never imagined that something so small could change the way she moved. At 74, she was known for her gentle strength, the kind that made her a reliable presence in her family, the one who always had fresh fruit ready when her grandson visited. She believed in healthy habits. Her refrigerator was always stocked with oranges, papayas, and her favorite, a mix of diced mango and pineapple she ate every afternoon. But over time, something shifted. It began with her walks. Once a daily joy, they became shorter, more cautious. Her knees started to feel unstable. Stairs required both hands on the rail. "I just thought I was getting old," she said. "Isn't that how it's supposed to go?" Then came the day her grandson, Leo, said something that stayed with her. "Grandma, why do you sit down so fast now?" That question stung, not because it was meant to hurt, but because it was honest. And Evelyn realized she had been sitting more, walking less, avoiding the little tasks she once handled without a thought. She didn't feel frail, but she didn't feel strong either, and it all seemed to center around her legs. At the suggestion of a friend from her church group, Evelyn spoke with a nutritionist. She didn't expect much. But one question from that conversation turned everything upside down. What do you usually eat between lunch and dinner? When she mentioned her fruit mix, the nutritionist nodded. Tropical fruits like mango and pineapple are delicious, but at your age, they might be spiking your blood sugar more than you think, especially if you're not eating much protein with them. Evelyn was skeptical but curious, so she made one small change. She swapped her afternoon fruit bowl for a hard-boiled egg and half an avocado with lemon. She added a few almonds when she felt like she needed something sweet, and she waited. In 2 weeks, she noticed her legs felt less swollen. She stood up without leaning on the table, but what surprised her most was how Leo noticed it before she did. "You got up fast today," he said. Like before. That sentence was more than a compliment. It was a doorway back to herself. Evelyn didn't stop eating fruit completely. She just became more selective. Berries in the morning, no tropical fruits at night, always balanced with a source of protein or fat. And what changed wasn't just physical. She felt more in control again. She walked taller. She cooked more. She even danced a little while preparing dinner, something she hadn't done in months. Sometimes the difference between weakness and strength isn't in a diagnosis. It's in a habit, a bite, a belief. And for Evelyn, that belief was simple. I thought I needed sweetness, but what I really needed was to feel strong again. You sit down for breakfast, proud of your choices. A bowl of papaya, a drizzle of honey, maybe a slice of toast. It feels light, clean, and nourishing. But as the day goes on, you notice something strange. Your legs feel tired by noon. That short walk to the corner feels longer than it should, and even standing in the kitchen to cook lunch feels like work. What's missing? It's not just energy, it's muscle fuel. And after 70, your body stops building muscle as easily as it used to. That process, called sarcopenia, begins slowly, but it accelerates quickly if your meals don't support it. And one of the most common reasons it speeds up? Too much fruit, not enough protein. Fruits like papaya, though rich in vitamins, offer almost no protein. They give you sugar, fiber, water, but not what your muscles need to rebuild, repair, and stay active. When fruit becomes your main meal, your body runs on quick energy, not strength. And over time, that trade-off begins to show. You lose balance when getting dressed. You rely more on furniture to move around. And deep down, you start to feel less sure of yourself in your own body. Many older adults fall into this quiet trap. They reduce heavy foods, avoid meats, and fill their plates with fruits, thinking they're doing something good. But in reality, they're starving their muscles, not with lack of food, but with lack of the right food. Your muscles are made of protein, and to keep them strong, especially after 70, your body needs more protein than it did in your younger years. Not less. That's because the body becomes less efficient at processing and absorbing it. So if you're only getting small amounts, say, a bit of egg at breakfast or a spoonful of beans at lunch, it's simply not enough. The consequences don't show up all at once. They whisper in tight calves, sore thighs, and that strange feeling that your body isn't quite holding you up like it used to. But when you shift your plate, adding eggs, cottage cheese, lentils, or chicken, something begins to change. Your legs feel more stable. You rise from the couch with more ease. You walk a little farther without needing to rest. And it's not about giving up fruit. It's about balance. Papaya can stay, but it should come with a partner that feeds your strength, not just your sweetness. Because at this stage in life, every meal is either a building block or a missed opportunity. And when you start choosing what builds you rather than just what soothes you, your body responds. Not with noise, but with quiet power. It's in the way you stand, the way you step, the way you return to yourself, one strong bite at a time. You've probably heard it before. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. It sounds wise, simple, and comforting. But for women over 70, especially after menopause, that apple might not be as harmless as it seems. Here's why. After menopause, the body's ability to manage sugar changes dramatically. Hormones like estrogen, which once helped regulate insulin sensitivity, drop. As a result, The same foods you've eaten for decades now trigger sharper blood sugar spikes. And apples, raisins, dates, though technically healthy, contain natural sugars that act almost like candy in this new hormonal environment. You might eat an apple mid-morning and feel good for a while, but an hour later there's a slump. Your legs feel unsteady. Your energy dips. You wonder if you just need a nap. But what your body really needed was something to anchor your blood sugar, not send it climbing and crashing. That apple isn't the enemy. But eaten alone, especially without protein or fat to slow its digestion, it becomes a sugar surge. And your muscles, already vulnerable to age-related decline, get left behind in that energy chaos. Then there's the deeper layer no one talks about: cravings. Many older women find themselves craving sweet fruits more intensely after menopause. And often it's not about the taste. It's about something missing beneath the surface. That desire for a date or a handful of raisins might actually signal a lack of magnesium or even emotional hunger, a need for comfort, routine, or the memory of care. So instead of shaming yourself for eating too much fruit, it helps to ask, what is my body really asking for right now? Because maybe it's not sugar. Maybe it's balance. When you replace those sugar-dense fruits with something gentler on your system, a few strawberries with nuts or slices of pear with a bit of cheese, your body responds. Your blood sugar stays stable. Your legs feel less wobbly. That strange tightness in your calves or feet starts to ease. And most of all, your cravings calm down. Because you're not chasing a high. You're feeding what's real. It's easy to label certain fruits as healthy based on reputation. But after 70, your body deserves more than reputation. It deserves nourishment that honors the changes it's been through. So the next time you reach for that mid-morning apple, pause. Add a slice of turkey or a tablespoon of almond butter. Make it a meal, not just a moment. Because your strength isn't in what you remember working. It's in what works now. It's a hot afternoon. You're feeling sluggish, a little stiff. You reach for something cold and juicy, a slice of watermelon. It tastes like relief. Light, sweet, and hydrating. You tell yourself, this is good for me. It's mostly water. And in a way, you're right. But your knees don't agree. A few hours later, they ache more than usual. Your ankles feel puffy. And when you bend to sit or stand, there's that familiar creeping tightness in your joints again. Could something so refreshing be making things worse? The answer lies in what watermelon, and fruits like it, do to your fluid balance, especially as you age. Yes, watermelon is mostly water, but it's also a natural diuretic, meaning it increases urine production. And if you're already low on key electrolytes like sodium or potassium, which many older adults are, that increase can become a problem. You're losing fluids, but more importantly, you're losing balance. Your joints depend on fluid to stay cushioned. Your muscles need sodium to contract and relax. And your legs, which bear the weight of every step, feel the impact of even the slightest dehydration. That jelly leg feeling? The heaviness that comes after standing too long? Or the strange sense that your knees might not hold you steady? It's often tied not just to weakness, but to water that's not where it should be. Inside your joints, inside your cells. And fruits like watermelon, cucumber, or even citrus, while delicious, can exaggerate that loss if they're eaten in large amounts without proper electrolyte support. There's also another layer: low-salt diets. Many older adults are told to avoid salt completely, but without enough sodium, your body can't retain the water it needs to hydrate tissues. So you drink more, eat more watery fruits, but still feel stiff, swollen, or tired, because the water isn't staying where it's needed. It's flushing through you. This doesn't mean you should stop eating watermelon, but it does mean being mindful. Instead of eating it alone, pair it with something grounding, like a handful of salted seeds or a small cube of cheese. Replenish what your body loses, and notice how your legs feel after, not just during, those juicy snacks. Because the real danger isn't dehydration in the classic sense. It's the quiet depletion that leaves your joints dry, your muscles limp, and your steps less sure. You deserve more than just temporary refreshment. You deserve lasting strength, the kind that lets you bend, move, and walk with confidence. And that begins when even the most innocent habits are rethought, not out of fear, but out of deep, respectful care. It might seem like a small thing, that heavy feeling in your legs after a meal. You finish dinner, have a little fruit for dessert, and then your calves feel tight. Your thighs ache when you stand. You brush it off. I must have sat too long. It's just the age. But what if your legs aren't just reacting to time? What if they're reacting to what you just ate? Many older adults experience post-meal fatigue, swelling, or muscle tension in their legs. Few connect it to fruit. But certain fruits, especially those high in sugar like pineapple, mango, or even a ripe banana, can create a sudden surge in blood sugar. And when that sugar spike fades, it doesn't just take your energy with it. It can also mess with your circulation. Here's how it works. When blood sugar rises quickly, your blood vessels react. The walls stiffen slightly. Circulation slows, and in your lower body, the farthest point from your heart, blood flow can become sluggish. This means your legs don't get the oxygen and nutrients they need in that moment. What they do get is a kind of numbness, tightness, or that strange, dragging sensation that makes walking feel like work. If you've ever had a fruit-heavy dessert, even just a healthy bowl of fruit salad after dinner, and noticed your feet tingling, your ankles swelling, or your calves feeling like stone, your body might be giving you a warning. And it's not just about sugar. It's about how sugar affects magnesium. Many fruits, especially tropical ones, interfere with magnesium absorption, and magnesium is crucial for muscle function. Without enough of it, your muscles don't relax fully. You might feel cramping at night, tightness in your hips, or that annoying Charlie horse that wakes you at 3 a.m. This isn't to scare you away from dessert. It's to bring awareness to how your body speaks. That tightness after meals isn't just aging. It's communication. It's your legs asking for stability, for slower digesting foods, for balance, for minerals that keep them supple and strong. Try shifting your dessert. Instead of pineapple or mango, try a few blueberries with plain Greek yogurt. Add a sprinkle of cinnamon, or a few slices of pear with walnuts. These combinations support blood sugar control, reduce inflammation, and nourish your muscles, not just your cravings. Because the goal isn't to punish your sweet tooth, it's to feed your strength. And the next time your legs feel off after a meal, don't just walk it off. Pause. Listen. Because that signal could be the first step toward a better relationship with your food and a stronger, more supported version of you. There's a quiet frustration that many older adults carry. The scale won't budge, even though they're eating lighter. They've cut down on large meals, reduced fats, replaced desserts with fruit. But the belly remains, the energy dips, and worst of all, the legs continue to weaken. What's going wrong? The truth is, not all fruits are created equal, especially when weight loss and muscle preservation are your goals. High-sugar fruits like bananas, mangoes, and grapes can sabotage your metabolism when eaten in excess, especially without protein or fiber. They offer quick sweetness, but little lasting fuel. And over time, those sugar spikes can lead to fat storage around the abdomen and increased inflammation in your joints. But here's the good news. Some fruits do the opposite. Berries, avocado, and kiwi are the quiet allies in your kitchen, and they do more for your body than just satisfy your taste buds. Berries, like blueberries, raspberries, and strawberries, are low in sugar and high in antioxidants. They help reduce inflammation, support blood sugar control, and even improve circulation. That means better energy for your legs and less swelling after movement. Avocado is technically a fruit, and it's a powerhouse. Full of healthy fats, potassium, and fiber, it keeps you full longer, supports joint health, and provides the fuel your muscles need, especially when you're trying to lose weight without losing strength. Kiwi might seem small, but it's loaded with vitamin C and fiber. It supports digestion, boosts immunity, and helps regulate blood sugar, all while being light and refreshing. But the real key isn't just what you eat, it's when. Eating fruit first thing in the morning on an empty stomach can set you up for energy crashes. Instead, try pairing your fruit with a protein source, like eggs, Greek yogurt, or a handful of nuts. Or better yet, have your fruit as part of a mid-morning or early afternoon snack once your body has already been fueled with a balanced breakfast. This timing helps flatten the sugar curve, giving your muscles steady fuel rather than a roller coaster of energy. And don't underestimate the emotional side of this. Swapping a beloved fruit can feel like a loss, a break in routine. But when you begin to notice how much better you feel after a berry bowl with seeds, or how grounded your body feels after avocado on toast, it doesn't feel like restriction anymore. It feels like restoration. The fruit you choose can either drain your energy slowly or build it steadily. And in the quiet details of your plate, in those little swaps, those intentional pairings, your legs begin to remember what strength feels like. Because losing weight isn't the goal. Moving freely, standing confidently, living fully, that is. For years, your nighttime routine might have felt simple and innocent. Dinner, a little fruit for dessert, maybe a piece of papaya or a banana to help with digestion. It's light, it feels healthy, and it sends you to bed with a clean conscience. But if you've been waking up tired, bloated, or with stiff legs and swollen ankles, your evening fruit might be telling a different story. After 70, your metabolism slows, especially at night. Your insulin becomes less efficient, your digestion less active, and your body enters repair mode. When you eat fruit late in the evening, the natural sugars linger longer in your bloodstream. Instead of being used for energy, they often get stored as fat or trigger subtle inflammation while you sleep. And that inflammation doesn't just show up in your belly, it shows up in your legs. You may wake up feeling heavier. Your feet hit the floor with less certainty. There's a tightness in your knees, a dull ache in your calves. And maybe, without realizing it, you've begun to dread mornings, not because of age, but because of what your body is trying to process overnight. One woman I worked with, quiet, sharp, 76 years old, couldn't understand why her mornings felt harder, even though her dinners were light. When she stopped eating fruit at night and moved it to lunchtime instead, her swelling reduced in just 5 days. By the second week, she said something I'll never forget. I didn't know my legs could feel this awake. It's not about banning fruit. It's about timing it in a way that serves your body's rhythm. Your muscles regenerate best during sleep, and they need calm blood sugar to do it well. A late-night fruit snack, especially without protein or fiber, keeps your system in a state of mild activity when it should be resting and rebuilding. Instead, close your evening with something that supports you. A calming tea, a few almonds, or half a boiled egg with herbs. These help signal to your body that it's time to slow down, not spike up. Have you ever felt more bloated or tired after eating fruit at night? Share your experience in the comments, because your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to connect the dots in their own life. And maybe the answer isn't a new medicine or a harder workout. Maybe it's just a shift in one quiet habit, one that could give your legs the peaceful rest they've been asking for. Because sometimes what we call just fruit is actually the key to waking up with strength.